Hi guys, welcome to All Things Careers with Mpfumeri. If you're joining us for the first time, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Today we are starting where the money is, where it matters the most. We'll be speaking with Hlawutelo. So Hlawu, please tell us about yourself.
Yes,
Who is Hlawu?
Okay, so my name, as you've said, is Hlawutelo Khosa. By profession, I'm a chartered accountant. So as we're progressing in our discussion, I will expand on that.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm quite sure there are some people who want to get to that level. Growing up, I only heard of chartered accountant, but I didn't even know. I think today it's one of the lessons which I will take with me, what it takes for one to be a chartered accountant, a CACSSA. Yeah. Okay, no, I got it right. So let's start with the high school. How was the journey from the high school side? Where did you do your high school? And then,
Okay. So I did my high school in a school in Pretoria. It was called Clapham High School. So the nice thing about the school was we were not limited in terms of how we package the courses, the subjects. You see, I'm already in university. The subjects, if you go in commerce, you don't just have to take economics, business, accounting. You could take anything. So in high school, I then took accounting, business, and physical science.
So you did
something else,
Because I remember in us they had streams in which you have to follow. If you're going science stream, you'll only do science. If you're going like a common stream, you'll only do common. So there was no way where you would be doing accounting and doing physics, but you'll have to do maybe only that stream. So from which grade did you think that no, this one I have to choose? Did you only think of it when you do your grade 10?
Yeah.
Or only from grade 9 you already knew that I need to go in this way where I will be having comments and physics included?
Yes. Look, I growing up, I didn't actually even want to be, I didn't know what I wanted to be. Yeah. I just knew I liked soccer. So I just wanted to play soccer. It was a lot of fun.
A lot of guys.
Exactly. So I was one of those. But as my parents cut that out, I started focusing and seeing what I liked. So what I noticed is that I like numbers from doing maths. Yeah. Then I realized that, okay, let me take it a step further. This was in grade 9, because you could still do accounting grade 8, 9. Yeah. So I was like, no, I want to follow this path. So once I decided that, I chose those subjects. To this day, I don't know why I chose physical science, because for me, I've never touched any of those things since I finished matric. So I would be lying if I told you why, but the decision really came from, I would say, grade 9, and it's because now I realize that I actually want to become some sort of an accountant or something in finance.
So for me, I remember EMS, it was called EMS at the time, grade 9. It was one of the subjects which I struggled with. Did that have an influence in which one are you going to choose when you go to grade 10? Because I knew that I don't like EMS, so I decided no, I'm not going to go. So did that also contribute in you choosing that stream of economics?
It definitely did, because I was good in it. Okay. So because I was doing well from grade 8 to 9, I think it influenced me in a way that I'm getting these concepts very quickly, and I'm passing them very well. So because of that, I think I went that way. So I would agree with that.
So let's talk grade 10, 11, and then we'll go to grade 12.
Yes.
And then now you chose that stream. When do you start realizing that, no, man, which modules do I have to do?
Like, I didn't even know it was a thing. I remember our accounting teacher saying that he could have been a chartered accountant at some point in his life. So in my head, I was like, why don't you just go do it? You're so good at accounting because you're teaching us. But I mean, there's a whole other story there. But it was more on, because I couldn't go and play soccer, I need to make sure that I'm passing the books. Yeah. So it was now, I need to focus on the books, I need to pass. And those are the courses that I've chosen. so I must make something of them. There was nothing more to it than that.
So now, how was like how do you call them? The marks, the passing rate at the time, grade 10, grade 11.
Yes.
Are you performing well?
Yeah.
Does maths now start being good? And now, since you chose like accounting and physics,
Yes.
does accounting start performing well more than physics does?
Yeah. So the funny thing is, accounting in high school, to this day, I won't tell you what I did. I didn't know what it was. I was passing it because I think I was getting 70s or something like that. But I didn't understand the principle. So that one stayed as it was, but physics stayed at 60 because it had nothing to do with everything else. But the other courses you had to do well in, you have to do well in mathematics. So those ones remained well. Only in grade 11, my mathematics was shaky. I think for me, grade 11 was the hardest year. And then you must pass your home language. So in our school, English was the home language, and then we had Afrikaans as the first additional. So for you to then get into the next stage, you must make sure that you focus on mathematics and English, and then maintain a good average and pass rate for the rest. So that was then the focus going forward. I couldn't let physics drop too much, but it wasn't my main concern because I had now realized that I want to do commerce.
So which means now the passing gets done very well, grade 10, and then you go to grade 11, becomes a challenging year, but anyway, you manage to push it and then balance your marks, you go to grade 12. Then now you're in grade 12. When do you start thinking that now, let's apply for become accounting and which universities you need to go to?
So funny thing is you actually have to start applying from grade 11. So a lot of the universities at the time, I don't know if it's changed now, but I think
last time I checked, you'll still be able to, because even on when you're applying, you can choose the year which you're applying for. So it means you can apply from while you're still at grade 11, and then choosing that I want to start 2020.
Correct. So it was the same. It was the same for us, for me back then. I couldn't use my grade 11 marks because they were in the 60s.
Oh, okay.
And the 60s for what I wanted to do is it places you on a waiting list. Also, depending on what university you want to go to. So, fortunately, we have a lot of the information to then start juggling this information. Oh, okay. So then they allowed you to do what they call a national benchmark test, NBT, NBT test. Very hard test. I think at the time
I went to write that thing, and then I'll tell you my result. I didn't do it.
No, I didn't get into varsity with my grade 11 marks or my NBT marks. So when I realized this, I realized that I need to really push in my matric year because, like I said, English was doing well, LO. All those. Then maths, because I knew maths where I wanted to go, they want a very high mark. I started pushing it even more, and then that became the focus. So the final year matric, it's because I knew now where I wanted to go, although I didn't know what the picture looks like. Based on the research and the information they've given us, they've told us you need over 60%, over 50 for this, so that you're not on the waiting list. So that was my target. So then I just pushed through to make sure that my matric marks will get me into that university.
So there's always that struggle. You find that you do well and everything, but on the last day, that's when you start noticing that, no, man, I didn't apply for the course, and now maybe the universities are closing and all those. And during the January, when the universities, people are still pulling their bags, that's when you start feeling the pain that, no, I forgot to apply. I didn't choose something that or maybe I felt like, no, I won't be able to make it. Did you get the acceptance letter while you are busy with your matric, or do they call you after you have completed to say no? Did you have the gap year in between, or you went straight from high school and then go to varsity?
So with me, how it worked was because I didn't get in with my grade 11 marks. My grade 11 marks were only good enough to be on the waiting list. Okay. Because I had other friends who were in with the grade 11. So I was on the waiting list. But the minute that I got my matric marks in January,
they sent you that.
They sent me the acceptance immediately to say, you are in. And so then went to university.
I always tell a lot of people to say that should you feel like your grade 11 marks are not good, it doesn't have to stop you from applying.
100%.
Because the moment you don't apply, it means you have to go and do the late applications, which is very hard to get it. But if you secure that waiting list, at least, and make sure that you push on your grade 12, at least you get to secure a space, you have a student number, and then you don't have to struggle doing the late application. So I think that's one of the good things that I always advise people to say. Make sure that you always apply, even though your marks are not that good. Be on the waiting list, but at least you know that you have secured. So in how many universities did you apply, and why did you get to choose the one that you went to?
Yeah, I applied at 3
Yeah.
because there is a cost for every application.
Yeah, I know for sure.
So I applied at Rhodes University.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go to Wits University.
Yeah.
It was my first choice, but they hadn't accepted me yet. And then there was University of Pretoria. I didn't want to go there because it was close to home.
To home, yeah.
So I
You
wanted
don't want to.
But
it's
I
us from
applied
Limpopo,
anyway.
don't apply in TEF to say, I want to go to
Yeah,
Gauteng.
same mentality is the same.
Yeah.
And then I applied to, so it was Rhodes, Wits, and UP.
Yeah.
So I wanted Wits University because it's away from home, but not too far. But, you know, I got accepted at Rhodes, but I used it as, so I did the Rhodes one because I knew I could get in, and I wanted to make sure I've secured something while I was waiting for the Wits one. So I didn't accept it. I just held on to my
to
letter.
say, yeah.
So when I got the other one,
And say, now I can
I
release
then
this one
took
now.
it and I left the rest.
That's nice. At least you get to manage. You don't have to struggle for that space. It's very quite frustrating to find someone on the last day to say, no, can you please assist me? How do I have to apply? But I think as times goes, people will get used to it. And now, at least those costs are reduced. When you apply online, when it goes to UJ, it's for free. So
wow.
I always advise that. It's for free there.
Yeah.
Just do it online and make sure. And then the other ones you still have to pay. But at least now you have that minus one which you can apply for free.
Just
Then
to
now-
add on to what you're saying there, because it's important to that people do apply, because what we were taught growing up is don't even rely on the late application.
Yeah.
Ever since, I think there was a situation where there was a stampede.
Exactly,
It was
it's
in
UJ, yeah.
Ever since that stampede happened, and it's not just at UJ where maybe they don't accept late. It's everywhere because they don't want to have that situation again.
Exactly.
So, like you're saying, apply with the grade 11 marks. The worst they can say is put you on a waiting list, not reject.
Exactly.
Okay, if it's very low, they will reject.
They'll reject, but even they'll
it's
still
on
give
the
you a
waiting
chance to say that
Exactly.
if should your marks perform well,
Top it up.
then they'll
Yeah.
So it's one of those. Then let's talk through the days of vets. You get to vets, you get accepted. There's always that thing to say, you know, it's very tough to get out of vets.
Yeah.
So
gives
then
you
now
the
you are
edge.
in vets, and how is it? How is the everything? And do you become a chartered accountant just after like qualifying? And how long did it take you to complete your qualification, and how was it?
Okay, so getting to vets, it was a big bridge you have to cross,
Yeah.
because the previous year you had to ask the teacher to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
The next
Now-
year, nobody even cares.
Exactly. You do
You're
your
a
assignment
number.
or not.
You're a
Yeah.
number. You walk into class for the first time. It's a big auditorium. There's 1,000 people, and the lecturer, I will never forget. The lecturer the first day said, "Right now there's 1,000 people in this class. Next year there'll be 500. In third year there'll be 200, and by the time you get to your final years, there'll be 50 or 80.
So
of
it
you."
means the number is reducing.
It was
People are
exactly
dropping
like
out
that.
and all those. Yeah.
Exactly like that. But it's academic exclusion, financial. It
Yeah.
just depends. But how my university for this degree works is, you go in, you have to do 3 years undergraduate degree. So you must first get a degree. For it takes 3 years minimum, and then you have to do a 4th year, which is a postgraduate. So you can do it. So different universities call it different things.
Yeah.
Some people will call it an honors, but it doesn't have a research module.
Yeah.
But it has 4 majors, same across all the universities.
Okay.
So once you get into 4th year, you need to do all those majors. Once you're done with that formal education, you then need to find a place of work where you must train for 3 years.
Okay, so let's take it back. I think
Okay.
we skipped the part of the APS. What are the requirements in order? Before we'll talk about the CA later.
Yeah.
But now, in order to be able to be doing BCom accounting, what are the requirements like the APS marks in terms of your English, home language, and all those? Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, it varies, but when I was looking at it, they're all relatively the same. You definitely need to do pure maths, not maths literacy.
Okay.
And you have to do, so if you do English as a home language, that's fine, or if you do it as a first additional.
Okay.
But if you do it as a first additional or home language, you must have 60% and above. Mathematics, it depends what university, but I think one accepts at 50% and above, or they place you on a waiting list, and the other 60% and above, and there's another one that's 70 and above. So those are the core.
So mathematics,
it's very important. Okay. It's very, whether you like it or not, if that's what you want to do,
you need that.
You just have to push through.
Okay.
There'll be worse subjects when you get to varsity.
Okay, yeah.
And then after that, to then calculate your APS. APS stands for admission points score.
Scores, yes.
You must then balance the rest of your subjects so that they make up a certain points. So if it's level 4, 5, 6, 7, they count all of that, and you must have a minimum. So the minimum for this one, I think UJ was 33.
Okay.
UP was 34. WITS was 39.
Oh,
they want you. So 39 is the minimum, and then they take. So
above
those
it.
that then go and get their 44s will come in with a grade 11 marks, and they'll be accepted.
That's South African pass mark when you don't do APS.
Yeah, I know.
So for those who don't know, the APS are the levels. When you add up your levels, your 3, 7. I think the maximum one is 7 in South Africa.
Yeah.
So 7, 3, and all those. When you add up for all your subjects, do they exclude LO? Ne? I think
they exclude LO.
Yeah, so
they do exclude LO.
So excluding LO, you should be going that 80 something and 39, as he has explained. Yeah. Okay, now, so for me, I used to think that when someone said, no, I want to become a CA, it's just going to varsity, you study, and then you pass, and then now you're in CA.
Yeah.
But I hear that it's a different task all along.
Yeah.
So what does it take now? You have completed your BCom accounting, you have your postgraduate. Then do you need to go and serve articles somewhere? Do you need to write some certain exams? What does it take for you to?
Okay. Yes. So they always make fun of us. They're like, it's like you're studying to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Because you think it's the 4 years.
Yeah.
And then you're done. You graduate. So you graduate for your undergraduate. You graduate for your postgraduate. So you have 2 graduations.
Yeah.
Then you think, I'm done
now. I'm ready for.
That's not the system. The system then moves from university into a non-profit organization called the South African Institutes of Chartered Accountants.
Yeah.
So they then regulate you from there, because now they're going to give you the practical studies that you need. So now they need to test you before they can certify you as one. So what happens is once it's a prerequisite. So before you can get into that, you must have passed undergraduate and postgraduates at universities that are allowed to give the course.
Okay.
That takes 3 years. In that 3 years, it's articles, as you've said. It's the same concept. You find an audit firm, or some of them, they can do it like at ShopRite. ShopRite has a program. Okay. The banks have programs. So it depends, whatever you want. You have to find one of those and then join the program for 3 years. In that 3 years, you have to pass 2 exams. The first exam is called an ITC. It's Initial Test of Competence. So what that exam does is that it basically tests the 4 years that you're at varsity. Are you sure you know the things that you think you know?
Okay.
That's what that one does. You write it in January after you finish your postgrad. You must write and pass. Okay. The second exam happens 18 or 20 months after that.
Oh.
It's called APC. It's called an Assessment of Professional Competence. So now they testing that the things that you've worked with in while doing your articles, are you able to understand how they work with the theory that you learned and the practical? And then they test you.
So that's when you'll be called like a CA.
Once you finish that, those 2 exams, and once you've done all your hours, you must do 3,500 hours in the 3 years.
Oh.
Then they certify you that you've passed and you're a CA.
So it's more like being a doctor. They're right, because now you are studying more like same years in order for you to be. You can have the BCom accounting qualification, but you are not yet a CA. So in order for you to be a CA, you need to pass all through those stages.
Correct.
How easy is it for you to get an articles after like varsity? Is it that difficult?
Yeah.
Is the career now at this moment like at the peak where most people can be able to get the job opportunities in that area?
See, this one is a bit controversial, but
Yeah.
I think your channel can allow.
Yeah.
It really depends where you went to varsity. So
Okay.
it should be.
Yeah.
It should be easy for everyone. But if I give you, for example, the statistics of my first year in articles,
Yeah.
a lot of the people
Were coming
from Wits, a lot of the people were coming from UCT, not many from UP, they're a bit far out.
Yeah.
And then in one of the third years, it wasn't even my group, was
Yeah.
from UNISA.
Okay.
So in the 3 year group, first year saying there was only one from UNISA, for example. So yes, I can say that you can go to it. So you will find articles. But for example, if you want to find it at the big four, some of them target specific universities.
We'll never run away from that.
Yeah.
It's happening, so we have to just face reality. I'm sure it will help someone. Now someone is trying to choose which one do I have to get to in order to for me to be in that market. So I think it's one of the things that we need to address. So then at least you know that you are secure to get something.
Yeah.
The unemployment rate
Definitely
is high,
secured,
but at least you need to make sure that you get something. Set up yourself for success.
Yeah.
We might put it that way. And then from there, then now, did you get while you are doing your the articles? Do you get something? Do you move? Do you stay in one place, or does it continue? Now you can start. It's for us as ITs. We don't have articles, so I completed my thing. Then I start working. When I'm tired, this one I go and go find another experience from different companies.
Yeah.
So for you, is it bound to say that because now you're doing articles for these 20 years, you have to serve them in this specific company up until you are done to get your CSA? Or can you move to different companies in that space?
Yeah. So I think there's a positive and a negative to it.
Okay.
Because the course is so structured from when you begin.
Yeah.
You've never really made a choice of anything else in the 7 years.
Yeah.
So a lot of people then go to an audit firm, and then when they finish with the audit firm, if they performed well, they'll stay at the audit firm because there's a structure, you don't choose your courses are given to you. You must just pass them.
Yeah.
You know, when you finish university, you must go do articles. It's a set program. So once you finish your articles and you become a CA, it's the first time where you really have to make choices. Now, it all depends. If you're a good performer in the firm that you're with, usually they offer you a contract to stay.
Okay.
Provided that you also like what the firm was doing. So if you're doing auditing, you'll stay with audit. If you're at ShopRite and you're doing reporting or whatever, you'll stay and do that. But after that, they always say, the word that they like to say is the world is your oyster.
Yeah.
So you can go overseas if you want, because what they teach us is the international financial reporting standards.
Oh, okay.
So the standards that apply in South Africa apply in Britain, apply in Australia, apply in Croatia.
Oh, okay.
So you can go wherever you want to go and practice what you want to practice, but it just depends how you then structure yourself and how you align yourself.
Yeah, going internationally, I think I saw that there was a point where you were out of the country. Were you going from the same company where you qualified, or it was before you get qualified to be a CA when you go that side? And how was the experience outside of South Africa in that field?
Yeah, so a lot of the big four, they call the big four audit firms.
Yeah.
Can I mention
Yeah,
them?
you can mention them.
KPMG, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, and PwC are your big four. They traditionally call the big four because it's like an oligopoly that's happening there. So with them, because they're international firms, they've got other offices in many different countries.
Okay.
So these countries, they work with a different currency. So if you're in Europe, they work with the euro, and they've got busy seasons. Here we work with the rand.
Yeah.
The euro stronger than the rand.
Yeah.
So instead of getting a lot of their own people, which are expensive, they'll get South Africans or maybe different countries, pull them in for busy season. So because the work is the same, audit here is the same. It's just language barriers that's different.
Yeah.
So that's why these programs are so prevalent in the big fours. They work with one another, and then this South African firm will bill the American firm, and they'll make money from you. But you'll also make money, and you'll get an experience.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's mutually beneficial for everybody.
Oh, okay.
So I got to do that. I went to the Netherlands. Beautiful experience. Different country, different problems. When I was there, my main mode of transportation, I didn't even want a car. I had a
Yeah.
bicycle. And that bicycle could take me everywhere.
So were you not getting tired from riding from one place to yeah?
Because you can get into a train, a tram.
Yeah.
Okay, not a tram. You can't get into a tram with a bicycle, but you can get into a train
With a bicycle.
With a bicycle.
How train they'll give you a ticket? If
Yeah,
you
they'll
don't have-
give me a ticket. You can't
Okay,
do that. All right. So yeah, in the Netherlands, I only had a bicycle.
Yeah.
Because there you see how they classify middle class and upper class are not distinguished by mode of transportation.
Yeah, you need to drive.
As in South Africa,
Yeah.
exactly. So here in South Africa, if you're a billionaire but you're driving you get into a taxi,
Yeah, then
they will
say-
not recognize you as
Exactly,
that.
yeah.
But there in the train, you could be with a billionaire using a train.
Oh, that's
because
nice.
they use it as mode of transportation, the fastest
Yeah.
way to get from point A to B. So yeah, you go there. I never realized how important weather was for me because I've never been in a country that
Yeah.
it's snowing and it's cold. Because I went in January till April.
Yeah.
And during that period, it's their winter going into spring. So in the winter, it was cold. Like you can't go with our jackets here will not help you there.
That side.
No, it will not. So that experience was not nice. I felt very homesick. You
in
wake
terms
up,
of
it's
weather.
dark.
Yeah.
You go to work, it's dark. You come back, it's dark.
Seriously?
Yeah, that happens.
So when do
That
you have that time to have fun out there?
No, okay. So also it depends where you go.
Okay.
So some go to America. America has a
yeah.
different work
Weather.
culture. They can work 16 hours.
Yeah.
In Europe, it depends on the clients that you have.
Yeah. Okay.
Specifically, the Netherlands is known as a very balanced office. So they'll
Yeah.
balance your work and play. So we didn't work a lot of overtime. So you'll work Monday to Friday.
Okay,
And then knock off 4:30, and then you have your time. And then on weekends, you also have your time. You can go to other countries. You could go to other cities because they give you a card, like
Oh, to
a
be
company
able to-
card that you can just swipe with into the train. So you just travel. Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. Then when does Treasury comes calling? Was it after?
Yeah.
Or it was during the period of you being a CAO? Now you have your CA and then.
Yeah. So as you're doing this program, the thing that you become so as a chartered accountant, you like a jack of all trades, and you are able to do like a lot of things in finance. How I like to always put it is, if your business works with money, you can have a chartered accountant.
Yeah.
That's in the simplest terms how I usually put it. So the program that they put you on and you go to an audit firm, you then specialize in audit.
Okay.
I didn't like audit. I was okay and quite good at it,
Doing
but I
that.
didn't like it. I've always, because audit looks at information retrospectively. So what has happened?
What happened? Okay.
I always like what is going to happen or like projections.
Yeah.
So I decided a long time ago that when I finish my articles, I'm going into what they call corporate finance,
Okay.
which is one of the modules that you do in your undergrad and postgrad.
Yeah.
So I spoke to KPMG because they wanted to keep me. I said, you can keep me, but I'm not staying in audit. I want to do corporate finance.
Okay.
So before I left
KPMG.
for Treasury,
Yeah.
I'd already switched out of audit into corporate finance.
Oh, okay.
So when I was doing the corporate finance work, I realized that it's not giving me the fulfillment that I thought it was going to give me.
yeah.
It's not. I don't have a direct impact in terms of helping people.
Okay.
It's making a lot of money for the firm, which is also good,
Yeah.
because then they hire people and more people have jobs, etc. But our country at the time was going through a recession.
Yeah.
We're getting downgraded. So I felt a better impact that I can have is working for the government,
Yeah.
and at a proper institution of the government. National Treasury is known as one of the top
Exactly.
government institutions. So I then looked at their website, saw if they have something that I could fit myself in within investments and corporate finance.
Yeah.
I found something, put in an application. Apparently there were 6,000 applications, and they only chose 2 people.
So you were one of them.
I was one of the 2.
So this shows that the experience and the qualification
And God.
and God
And God, 100%.
yeah.
Because before I even applied, I prayed
Yeah.
about this. So for me, I don't even call it a coincidence that
Yeah.
I then one day at work went onto the Treasury's
Exactly.
website, saw the position,
And then-
it spoke to me 100% now that I was in corporate finance, applied for it, did the interview process,
Yeah.
and then went in. So that's when, for me, it even confirmed that this is where you should be.
So, yeah, no, that's one of the huge steps. And so, does it give you more job opportunities in terms of you being a qualified CA as compared to only having that BCom
Yes.
accounting qualification?
Yes. Tons more. I don't want to downplay a BCom.
Yeah.
A BCom is
It's
very
very
good.
good,
It's a
yeah.
very good degree. It's well recognized.
Yeah.
The challenge that a BCom degree has is that most of the BComs only have a double major.
Oh, okay.
So you have to choose while you're in university that I'm doing auditing and tax, or I'm doing accounting and tax,
Yeah.
or whatever. Whereas the CA one, the way that they've put it together, you do 4 of the
Okay.
majors.
Yeah.
So once you've done those four majors basically cover the world of finance.
Oh.
Maybe not in the greatest of detail. So
But
maybe
at least it gives you that
touches
highlight.
very, very high. And then if you, like, for example, I want to then go into investments.
Yeah.
So if I want to go into investments, there are others that did a BCom in investments that have more knowledge.
Okay.
But I can supplement it with what they call a CFA.
Okay.
Which is I write 3 exams and then I'm
You're
a
also into
chartered
investment.
financial analyst.
Oh,
So then I have 2 and then I just do investments. So if you have a BCom, you can still do that. You can become a CFA, but you can't then be a CASA,
Oh, okay.
for example.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's not it. So the other thing is I wanted to ask is, in IT, in the IT world, you can go and be like qualified in software development, but ended up finding yourself in the back end side of things,
Yes.
or you can go
Yes.
and start something and end up finding yourself in the network side of things.
Yes.
Do you only have one like specific career that you'll be able to do, or there are multiple careers if you have CSS, CASA,
Yeah.
and then all BCom accounting? Do you only have that one specific job? When they say you're doing auditing, you only do auditing, or you can be able to do different?
Yeah, well, as a CASA,
Yeah.
there's many things you can do. So you can become a financial manager,
Okay.
you can be a management accountant, financial accountant, you can be an investment analyst.
Yeah.
You can you can be an internal and external auditor.
Okay.
A lot of the CAs are auditors.
Yeah.
So you can be many things. With a BCom, you can be a financial manager.
Okay.
But put it this way, if you are then hiring, let's say you have your IT company is
Yeah.
doing 1 billion in revenue, and you have 2 candidates where this one is much revered and this one, and they have maybe similar experience levels.
Yeah.
What the industry tends to do is to take this one because they realize, the CASA,
Yeah.
is because they realize that what they're saying is that person is then teachable, because you're not necessarily just going to do financial management work,
Oh,
which
okay.
a BCom can do, but they might ask you to do other levels of thinking that incorporated other parts of your study within the same function. So instead of them having to hire 3 people in that position, maybe they can just hire 2, you and someone else, but the collective of you do for 3 or 4 people, because your skill complement allows you to do that.
I think
So-
this maybe might be my last question.
Yeah.
It's in terms of now you have studied and everything. How difficult is it to strike the balance in terms of your personal life? You have a family and work. Is it that difficult? Can you be able to balance? You know, there are certain people who say, "No, Ash, I don't want to study something so hard," and then ended up not being able to have my
enjoy
own
it.
life, to
Yeah,
enjoy it.
that's
Do you have that balance in order to be able to balance life and work?
Yeah. So I'm fortunate that I do.
Okay.
But you must make an intentional decision
Decision,
to do
okay,
that.
yeah.
There are some careers that require a lot of your time.
Yeah.
For example, if you are doing like within investments, corporate finance,
Yeah.
you've got mergers and acquisitions. Now, these are fast transactions where mergers and acquisitions is this company wants to buy this company.
Okay, yeah.
So before they buy it, they must
Understand.
do due diligence, understand I'm paying the right price. Because not
Okay.
like I'm walking to a shop and
They say that, "I
there's a
want this
price."
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's time sensitive. So people in those types of industries will
need to
work
make sure
a
you're
lot
always-
of hours. And if you want to progress, you must impress your bosses. And therefore, if they call you on Saturday and Sunday, you must do what they want. My profession is intense it has its own intensities,
Yeah,
but because I have a family and I actually enjoy traveling.
Yeah.
So I will prioritize that. So I'll know in a year I'm working about 10 months.
Okay.
If there's 2 months or maybe 11 months, because
Yeah.
I am in formal employment.
Yeah.
So I'll work 11 months and then
the-
1 month
in
where I
case you
get
have
a
your leave.
chance,
Yeah.
I will go so that I remain with that balance. My job doesn't require me to work on weekends,
Yeah.
to work overtime. So as soon as the laptop shuts down,
Then
it's family time. As soon as it comes back on, it's work time.
Yeah.
But you must create it. It really does. You can get someone else who's done what I've done, and they can give you a different answer.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get it. So the last but not least, it's what will you say to someone who want to measure in this type of career? It might be someone who's still doing high school. It might be someone now they have the BCom accounting. Maybe now they want to further and make sure that they get their CASA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what will you advise someone in that regard?
Look, I would definitely, I always say, because my first dream was to be a soccer player. That will never leave my heart. But I am so happy that this now has become my dream.
Yeah.
Because what it has allowed me to do is to realize that I'm not limited in terms of what I can do and what I can't do.
Okay.
Where I can work, where I can't work. Literally, I'm not even over exaggerating.
Yeah.
If you have a passion for just seeing another country and working, not just touring it, but working in that country, this does allow you. It's a gateway to that.
Exactly.
So I would advise that if you're in high school, don't adopt the herd mentality that says maths is hard.
Yeah.
The thing I didn't tell you is in my matric year, for June exams, I was getting 60% for maths.
Yeah.
I was very stressed that I'm not going to get in. So
Into-
I worked even harder. For prelims, I got 70.
Exactly.
And for the final, I got 80. So you're looking at someone who was not naturally gifted at maths. So when I say you have to work harder than, I have a friend who just gets it.
Yeah.
I have to work 10 times harder to get maybe even less than what he gets, because he'll go get 90.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So I would say don't adopt that herd mentality of the people around you that are saying, let's just go do maths literacy.
Yeah.
It's easier, we'll get through. If you want the things that you want, Will Smith, I like Will Smith, he says your best experiences are on the other side of fear. So once you can cross over that fear, that hardworking, put in a good ethic, everything else that you want is on that side.
Exactly.
You know, so don't adopt the herd mentality. Do maths. You have to do maths.
Yeah.
You have to do
Go for
well
it.
at your home language.
Yeah.
And if English is the first additional, corporate talks English, unfortunately.
You need it.
The things you're going to read are in English. Let's maybe change it one day so that it's different languages. Let's hold the money.
Yeah.
But right now we don't hold the money, so you must know the language. Do well in those, balance the rest, work hard in varsity.
Yeah.
There will be a lot of things that distract you. Work hard in varsity, and then you'll be great. I promise you. You'll enjoy the other side.
I'm sure there's someone who wants to know, is the money there? Or you are only working with it?
I do want to. It's definitely there. There's a lot of money there. I can give you some figures. I don't want them to be motivated by the money, but it is a motivating factor. So getting out of, in articles there isn't money.
Yeah. So there you need to struggle. And
you struggle a lot.
I'm working towards something.
But you'll be able to buy, get an apartment, pay rent, have a car.
That's more enough in South Africa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's starting off, you'll be there. You'll be fine. The minute you qualify, you are then reaching the 500,000, 1 million. That's when you then gonna get to, and that's per annum.
Yeah.
So the monthly thing is 500,000 per month. 500,000 per month for the CEOs and the executives. But entry level, maybe doing articles now, inflation, maybe let's say 600 starting as a CA.
Yeah.
And then it just goes up from there. So there's definitely money.
There is. I'm sure someone now there's someone who has the BCom accounting, but they were thinking otherwise. I'm sure that might even push you more to say, let me go for it, and I think the money will come after.
It definitely does.
Thank you very much for sharing this information with everyone who's watching. I'm sure it's going to touch someone, it's going to help someone. And if you're joining us for the first time, please don't forget to like and subscribe. More videos, more information, more content is still coming.